Hello, my beautiful people. I wanted to do a video today talking about intuitive eating, especially with the holidays coming up, or just even on your recovery journey, whether you're emotional eating, stress eating, overeating, binge eating. When you deal with those things, you tend to lose sight or the feeling of your hunger and your fullness cues. You lose that connection. So I just kind of wanted to demonstrate how I started off mindfully eating and how I walked myself through that, just thought-wise and vocally as well, because this is actually something that I want to get stronger at. Because one of the things I feel like happens in recovery is you'll feel really good at a place that you're in, but you have to understand that the reason that you've reached that place is because you have been working on yourself and utilizing your tools and embedding those into your lifestyle. So that is why you're feeling good. And when you're feeling good, that doesn't mean that you let it go. That means that it's becoming part of your identity, part of how you know how to care for yourself, and just part of you. These are patterns and habits that you have to practice daily in order to rewire your brain. So with that being said, I have created a plate. And on this plate here, we have some chicken nuggets, some zucchini. There was like 2 or 3 other pieces, but I already ate them. And then we have 2 eggs and some rice. So first off, I kind of just want to talk about how I crafted this plate, right? So in my mind, especially with eating like whole foods or just knowing a little bit more about nutrition, I want something that feels balanced. And it doesn't always have to be like that. But I have found that when I pair carbs, protein, and fats together, I'm satisfied, I'm satiated, and I think there's a knowledge subconsciously that eases my mind that says, hey, we just had a full meal and I feel really good about this. And I know that, all of these groups, none of them are bad. All these are required to reach your strongest self. So that's what I was thinking. I always want to put I was really bad at this for a while. I always want to put some veggies on my plate. They have a lot of good fiber, protein, of course, because we're reaching gains. You can't see my massive, gigantic bicep, but it's there. Eggs for some really healthy fat and protein as well. And then we have some carbs from the rice, and as well as, a little bit of vegetables, but very minute. And then I have a sugar-free sauce just because I am a sauce addict. So I know that when I get a sauce, I will overindulge and overuse. So it's taking me quite a while actually to find sauces that don't feel like I am giving something up. And so these sauces by G. Hughes, I never feel like I'm giving something up. I actually very thoroughly enjoy them. And I just had barbecue sauce recently, and quite honestly, I don't even remember the difference. So that's just how different or how undifferent they really are. And then also when I am mindfully eating, I pair water or some type of drink. And I'll explain a little bit why, is because when I was coming out of my binging cycle, or just when I was in my habits, when I was trying to rewire my brain and all these things, I noticed a pattern in self where I would strictly just like black out into the food, like tunnel vision into the food. And so I didn't create pauses where sometimes I would be thirsty, but in my mind I had to finish my plate before I could drink anything. Have something near, right? And put it in the back of your mind where we can take a few bites and we can honor not only our hunger, but how we're feeling and our thirst as well. Yeah, let's get into it. There's not really a plan for this video, so I'm just gonna kind of talk you through or just thought process of what I did in the very beginning. So cheers. So the first thing I did to mindfully eat and to be present with my meal, because I was so used to disconnecting and not being present, is I want to label flavor, texture. What does it feel like in my mouth when I'm chewing it? Like when I swallow, can I feel it like landing, like traveling down and landing in my stomach? And I know that sometimes that can feel like, well, this is stupid. And quite honestly, I understand how you feel about that. Because it is a little bit of a knock on the ego to have to relearn something that is required for life. So that's kind of like relearning walking or relearning talking, or just something that is, quite honestly, we don't acknowledge or show appreciation of. So it can feel a little bit odd to kind of like take multiple steps back, learn how to crawl before you can walk. When I taste this, first of all, it says it's chicken rice, but it kind of smells like turmeric. Rice is a little bit hard. It really sticks to your teeth. When it goes down, it feels like worms. I don't know how to explain it. This is minute rice, so I didn't make it. It does feel warm. Not warm in temperature either, like just a warm feeling. My family had a lot of like plates from Ukraine because my stepdad was from Ukraine, and this kind of gives me like a memory of going back to those like little family reunions and family dinners. Feel good with that. That feels good. I'm feeling like, I enjoyed that. Wasn't necessarily my favorite, but it wasn't bad. So then I go back to the eggs. I love dipping my whatever in like the egg yolk, but I'm actually gonna take some egg yolk here. I noticed I fried my eggs a little bit, and I love it when they come out like that, but I did overcook the yolk just a bit. I'm going to grab some salt. Be right back. One thing I also like to notice when I'm practicing mindfully eating is like your hunger level of now. Actually, when I went to go grab the salt, I was like, I'm pretty hungry. So just recognizing where your hunger is at can help you get more knowledgeable about yourself and just your tendencies, because when I'm really hungry, sometimes my primal will take over, right? Where it's like, I just know I need to get food. And sometimes I don't really care where it comes from. When we are eating and we're at like a danger level of hunger, or something that signals we're in a danger level of hunger, something that we don't necessarily feel comfortable with, that's where we can grab like the easy stuff, or we can get too excited when we eat, and we can overeat, and that can cause negative feelings and negative emotions, and that will cause you to want to binge to get out of that feeling. So it's just kind of learning things about yourself, like, hey, I'm safe, I am just really hungry right now. Then I just remind myself also, like, I'm very happy that I get to eat a balanced meal. I'm so thankful I'm taking the time to nourish my body, because my past does not define me. And as a human, I need to fuel my body, right? If I want to get to a place where I've never been before, I have to do something I've never done. And so this is, for me, after I binge, it'd be very common for me to restrict or do like a lot of exercise, and basically plant this seed in my mind where I did not deserve to fuel my body, or I had to earn my food, and that's not the case. Zucchini has been something I've been eating a lot recently. Not necessarily the most flavorful, but it's very squishy. If you're somebody who feels like they should not have carbs are very important for your body. Just wants you to catch that fear, whatever's going on in your mind, and challenge it a little bit. Like, oh, these carbs are gonna make me fat. Instead of having it fear-based, have it something where we can, tell ourselves like, carbs are actually extremely important, especially if you're active, because that is what's fueling your gym sessions, your cardio, right? Your daily life, walking around, doing your thing, going to work, keeping you energized. So just keep that in mind. Let yourself know it is okay for me to eat this. I am doing myself so good by allowing myself to take care of me. I deserve to take care of me. We are missing the best part, and this is the chicken nugget. A little bit dry. Not a super crunchy outside, but still a good crunch. That I can feel like going down. That feels satiating to me. Like I can feel like, oh, okay, we're eating and we're feeling better now. Those hunger pains are starting to go away. So let's say that I've had a day of overeating, right? And after I overate, I waited some time and I still got hungry. So therefore I'm having this meal and it's balanced and it's really outside of my comfort zone. And you reach a point where you're very familiar with overeating and you find yourself having this plate and you're starting to notice that you're getting full and that maybe you don't need all of this. This is where I would pause, like about half of the plate, maybe not half the plate, maybe there's a little bit more. But what I'm saying is when you find yourself, whether you are able to identify your hunger or maybe you just know that you have a habit of clearing the plate, allow yourself to eat half of it. There is no expectation that you cannot have it, but allow yourself to eat half of it because half of it, pause, right? Go do something for 10 to 15 minutes because this is going to get you out of this environment, right? Like get this food out of your head for a little bit, focus on doing something else, see if you can identify like after those 10 to 15 minutes, if your food has settled, because sometimes it takes 10 to 15 minutes for you to be like, I'm actually not hungry anymore, right? Or just to break that strong habit of wanting to clear your plate, you might realize that you feel less anxiety stopping halfway through the plate when you're somewhere else, right? Doing your own thing, rather than stopping right now and noticing that there's a lot on the plate. So when you do this, I never put an expectation on myself to not finish the plate. I said if I was truly hungry after the 10 to 15 minutes, that I could eat the whole thing. I could eat the whole thing. Or maybe even I eat a little bit more, see how I'm feeling after 10 minutes, and then if I'm still hungry, I can eat the whole thing. But even if you overeat during that period, what you are doing is creating pauses. And this is where you start to lose yourself in the food, is that you don't pause. There is no pause. It's all primal, reactional. I got to get down. So just keep that in mind. I gave you guys a lot of information. So I'm going to finish this, kind of identify how I feel, and I'll see you in a little bit. I'm on my last 2 chicken nuggets. And as you can see, like, this is not a lot, right? Like, you could look at this and be like, okay, this is pointless. And quite honestly, could I finish this off and still not be to a point where I'm overly full? Yes, absolutely. But the goal here is just to try and recognize when you feel good to stop. That's the whole point. So it is not bad if you are to have something on your plate and you're to finish it off. But what I'm saying is when your goal is to eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full, which is intuitive eating, you want to create a practice and break a different practice by doing something new. Even for me, there is a slight wanting to finish that because I've tracked it, so I know I need to hit it in order to reach my macros. But I also know that at this current moment, there is a goal here. So I felt like there was kind of this, like, I knew it wasn't hunger because I had just eaten that meal, but I wasn't hungry. It was a different feeling from when I had before. So I was like, I'm gonna go refill my water bottle because I actually drink it, right? Because it was like halfway full when I started the video. And so like as I'm drinking this water, I'm like, holy cow, I actually feel good. Like I feel good. I think that was like a thirst cue, right? So this is where it's just kind of like acknowledging and challenging what your body feels like. It's challenging, what does that feeling feel like? What is that? Could it possibly be water? Could it possibly be hunger? Could it possibly be, a slight anxiety of not finishing the plate? Those are all questions that you want to pick apart because this is really how you start to learn yourself again. So I'm going to put these guys away, even though there's only 2. And I'm going to put them in the fridge so that I can eat them later. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you. And if this helped you in any way familiarize you with yourself, let me know in the comments and let me know what you would like to see. I appreciate you guys for giving me a platform to share my story, and I hope you really enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.